don't know who doing it, so don't round me out. Don't send no police round me and tell me shush my mouth. Where's our conviction? But where's our pride? We selling everything, selling our backside. Just go online, it'll make you sick. You can buy any island, just point and click. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our hey, hey. Ride him. My mother always say when you find a donkey, ride it. Who's donkey? What? Come on. We got a whole nation in 73. Now we getting back the whole country. What kind of fools we must be, selling out for a bag of rice and a cup of tea. You know what does bug me? Help me understand. I can't find piece of property for under 80 grand, but I can fix this. I know what to do. I can squat just like them other people try make me do. See, they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our everybody sells some every day. Giddy up, giddy up. Come on. Oh, donkey. Let's go. Who's the donkey again? They're selling one island. Give away one key. What can be left for you and me? Is this the example? What's our kids to do? You want them have a sense of pride, or go selling too? Cause they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes, they're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling our whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes man. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling our whole country. Ooh, they're selling our they're selling our country, yes, yes. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling
Whoa, girls, we out doing
We know you're watching. We can feel you. We know that you are afraid. Afraid of us. You're afraid of change. You're afraid of what happens when the Bahamian people find out that you've lied to them. I'm going to hang up this phone, and we are going to tell them everything. We are going to tell them who they are and what you took from them. Change is not coming. Change is here.
Fellow Bahamians, you have been lied to. You have been told that you are poor, that you have no wealth and no resources. You have been told that your natural resources are worth nothing. You've been told that even if you had natural resources that only the wealthy could afford to mine and process it. While you were struggling to survive, they were secretly shipping billions of tons of your natural resources out of the country. It's time to learn the truth. It's time to end this myth. There is a dangerous cohort called the oligarchs. They have been using your beloved politicians as puppets to do their bidding. To distract you with rallies, handouts and jobs while they ran off with your riches. So the question is, how do you get your resources out of the hands of the oligarchs and into the hands of the Bahamian people? It's easier than you think. Today, I have come as the bearer of good news. And that is that change is not coming, change is here.
And I start with a document released by Tenneco. It's a Tenneco 1986 internal report. States that the oil projections in the Bahamas are anywhere from 4 billion to 17 billion barrels. In 1986, Lyndon Pindon gave Tenneco authorization to drill 7 exploratory wells. The names of those wells are Manta Base, Sand Shark, Bluefin, Lionfish, Blue Marlin, Grouper, and Hammerhead. Now, findings. Manta Bay estimate 1.447 billion barrels.
So, first question most people ask is, why are you in the Bahamas? And there's some sort of presumption that it's about palm trees and beaches and cocktails, but actually we're in the Bahamas because it's a very, very, very prolific oil-producing region. There were, as I'll get into in a few minutes, there are historical wells. It's in a very prolific oil-producing region. There's been a 3D seismic campaign. And
Lionfish, estimate 0.94 billion barrels. Grouper, estimate 6.492 billion barrels. Hammerhead, estimate 1.007 billion barrels. Total amount of barrels estimated 17.063 billion barrels. Bahamas 3D seismic test and what was discovered. 1. 3 traps identified as fulls of where oil has accumulated. 2. These traps rival those of the Middle East in size. 3, the Bahamas' oil potential is as big as those of the Middle East. What has happened with the natural resources of the Bahamas, especially oil? The oil resources of the Bahamians are worth tens of trillions of dollars.
We're at the point where we have to drill a well, and we have to get going on the drilling of that well by April 2017.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for waiting for us, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to have you on here. Let's make sure you all can see yourselves chatting. Let's get the chat up there. Okay, awesome. We like to put the chat up there because sometimes the chat goes missing when you go back to the social media pages, and you can, if you want to turn your device sideways, you'll be able to read the chat a little better if you can. But yeah, so that's what it is. So thank you for tuning in. We appreciate all of you for being here. We're gonna have a good conversation tonight, and we're gonna open the phone lines tonight. Gonna be a special one today. All right, so just be prepared to tune in for that. I'm gonna release some documents today. Yeah, I think I'm gonna look at some documents today because I see another, the crooked media in the Bahamas is painting, some very shady narratives out there. They're trying to vilify certain people. We just want to make sure that doesn't happen. And yeah, so thank you for tuning in wherever you're from. I'm going to get straight into this because I'm already 20 minutes behind. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you. We appreciate you. We're going to keep fighting for you. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we had an amazing and wonderful time at the rally the other day. And we, again, want to thank all of you for participating, being a part of that. I have been overwhelmed by the calls of support and the calls of people calling to say that, listen, I was a staunch PLP all my life or staunch F&M all my life, but this time we are going with COI. We have been getting those calls and those kinds of calls all weekend. And when I say all weekend, I mean all day, every day. We've been getting those calls. People are realizing that the F&M and the PLP are the same, and all they wanted was the hope that you could have a new crew of real Bahamians who are qualified Bahamians who can take over this country and govern and take us into the next Bahamas. That's all some people were waiting for. And now they have it. They have it in the COI. And people came out in droves. People came out in the thousands and supported. Not only were people lined up in the area where we were, in the open space where we were, people were outside of the fence, people were on the other side. People were in their cars, blowing their horns. Some people who didn't want, they're probably in government jobs, they didn't want to be seen. Listen, it's not illegal for government workers to participate in politics. What that is talking about, when you see that, is they're talking about government workers actually running in politics. And so when you decide that you declare, right before election, when you declare, put yourself up for nomination, that's when you have to make the switch. All right. But government workers, you are free to come out. But if you want to stay in the car, that's fine. If you want to put on your mask, that's fine. We're going to be out here fighting for you because you're inside there fighting for us. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be an interesting one. I just want to show some things and remind you of some things. Despite the fact that Philip Brave Davis told you that he was not going to raise NIB, guess what happened? NIB has been raised and is going to take effect on June 1st. Despite the fact that these people told you that NIB would not be raised, NIB was raised. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. I just wanted to say that. I don't know how long you're planning on getting swing from these politicians. I don't know. Maybe that may just be what Bahamians like, or it might be like what Leslie Miller said, where Leslie Miller says he just beats women and beats women because they think you don't love them if you don't beat them, and the politicians may see us as their women, the Bahamian people, and so they may have a sick mindset like Leslie Miller, and they may feel like you have to beat them and beat them. And they're sick people for thinking that way, but we're even more sick for allowing it to continue for all this time. We are the ones being beaten and bludgeoned and mistreated. And we keep allowing it to happen over and over. We keep letting the PLP and FNM get away with it. Well, anyway, we're gonna make that change. All right, it's time for Bahamians to have the courage to make that change. So all I can tell you is, if you don't, dog eat your lunch. That's all I can say. If you don't, dog eat your lunch. I'm so sorry to have to put it that way, but if you don't, I repeat, dog eat your lunch, as the saying goes. All right. So let's get to it. We have a walkabout on. Sorry, we have a dollar drive on Saturday, and so we're gonna just follow my Facebook page, and you'll see exactly where the dollar drive is. I think they have some graphic for it. I think if someone could send that to me, we'll get that out there for you. We have a dollar drive on Saturday. We just want you to know that all political initiatives have to be funded. I don't care how rich you think the politicians are. They have to be, political campaigns have to be funded. There's no such thing as coming in with your own money. Politics has to be funded. It shows that there are people who support and believe in what you believe in. It's a show of that. It's a show that there are some people who believe in what you're doing so much that they're going to support it. All right. So we need to support these dollar drives to keep it going. So what the dollar drive does is it brings the opportunity to support the movement directly to you. It brings that opportunity directly to you, and so you can meet us on the streets for our dollar drive. So further information will be put on all of our Facebook pages. So make sure you're part of the COI Facebook page, Bahamian Evolution, Lincoln Bain. Make sure you're there to get the information wherever you're getting it from. All right. So make sure you're a part of this. Let's just put up the information about the dollar drive. And also, we're going to have a walkabout in Angliston. We're going to have a walkabout in Angliston on the weekend also. So the dollar drive is going to take place June 10th. June 10th. It's going to take place on June 10th. Make sure I can see what I'm saying. June 10th, 2023. Okay, I don't have the time here. But we'll give you further information in short order. June 10th, 2023 is when the dollar drive is going to be, and I'll get that information to you, okay? And so thank you for supporting. Many of you supported, and you can see exactly where the money goes. We have islands to go to. People say, okay, we need to come to Lucha, we need to come here, we need to come there. But it takes money to get this done, and you have to make this happen. If you support the movement, you can't just support it with your mouth. We all have to put together to make this happen, because the evil people, the crooked people, the oligarchs and the people who are making money from this, they are going to put up their money to make sure that you continue to suffer in this country, that you continue to get nothing. Also, we're going to have a walkabout in Angliston, and that's Saturday, June 17th. So that's not this Saturday, that's the next Saturday. The meeting point is at Montel Heights Park. All right, Montel Heights Park. And so we'll put that up on our various platforms so you can see exactly what is going on there also. All right, so we got some stuff to talk about today, and I'll get to in a minute. I wanted to start with something in particular. I noticed this corrupt news media, um, uh, our news, and I heard that Eyewitness News did something on it too, and I didn't see it. And I wanted to talk about this before I started talking about NIB and showing you the real reason NIB is in the situation it's in. It has nothing to do with the fact that more is being paid out than was coming in. All right, it has nothing to do with that. I want to talk about how the news media decided to start attacking a gentleman called Mr. Arna. Mr. Arna is a Bahamian gentleman whose family had a large farm plantation back in the 1800s. They bought a lot of property and then they got crown grants for some property. They even mortgaged some of their property, paid off the mortgage, and got it back. And so they did well back in the day until that business started to go down. They still own the property, but persons started to come and take and encroach on their property. A lot of the property was in the West. And this has happened to a lot of Bahamian families. Now, these families would not have had uh, the means to develop some of their property or to maintain what they've developed. And many families go through that. And what started to happen is crooked politicians, particularly lawyers, would advise foreigners and say, listen, there's a house right there. No one checking for that house. That probably worth $3 million. Give me 200,000. I'll tell you how to take that, and we'll help you with documentation, etc. And they do this kind of crookedness. Sometimes they take up a sale sign and they put it on the building just to make sure, and they put their number on it. And so, because if your building, if you see a for sale sign on your building, you call that person and say, "Why the hell are you trying to sell my building? What are you doing?" But if no one calls, then they know that no one is checking for this building. So then they go and try to take it over. All right. Um, and so let me move this logo off here so I could see what everyone is saying. I have a logo on in the corner. Let's move that. Boom. All right. And so this particular gentleman has already that we're talking about, who's trying to take this property from Mr. Arna, has already taken 30 properties from Bahamians in this country. He has already stolen, I'll say that loosely, but taken 30 properties in this country. 30. He admitted that to me himself when I spoke to him. And he said he got 30 Bahamians removed off the property. He got police officers doing his dirty work to take them away for trespassing and tell them not to come back because he's intimidating them because they don't have the money to go to court to get back in. He takes over and he gets it done. All right. And so he did that to 30 properties. He told me that himself. We have him recorded on video. I'm not going to get into all that today for the sake of time. But he did that with 30 properties from right here in the Bahamas. It's a foreigner. This foreigner was named in the Panama Papers. And so, the Panama Papers was very scandalous. And it showed persons who are into, nefarious things. 30 properties. This person is now, running swimming pigs, running swimming pigs on one of the keys off of Nassau. On another key in Nassau, he's also running a similar business, and he's partnering with Philip, a family member of Philip Brave Davis. Interesting. A family member of Philip Brave Davis is who he's partnering with. And so I guess that gives him a lot of clout. One of the other island that he's operating on, the island was leased to a strong PLP, a well-known PLP. That person had owed a lot of tax and should not have gotten the lease from the government to use that island. But that person is leasing to this foreigner, this German, who is now operating something on that island. And this foreigner has decided to do a lot of things. So what happened is that During the lockdowns, the foreigner saw some buildings that were vacant, and he decided, all right, he decided to go there, renovate the buildings, and he told his workers that he did not pay us for the building, but that he was going to just go and say he was there for 12 years after they renovated. He was rushing them to finish his building while, before the lockdowns was really finished. And he was rushing. He was telling them, don't worry, don't mind if just put a plug there. Don't mind if there's no wiring behind the plugs. Just put a light there. Don't matter if it's wiring running to the lights. Don't worry about the plumbing. Just put the fixtures in. Because he was rushing to make it look like the building was finished. I spoke to the contractors, and they admitted all of this. And they said they stopped working for him because everything looked shady. And it looked like they were sending the contractor to do the dirty work for this man. The contractor said he was pulling out and having nothing to do with this because he would be the one doing the dirty work. He would say he would be driving with the German, and the German would tell him, listen, see that property right there? Go clear down that line and see if someone says something. Clear it down. If no one says something, they'll come back and take it. This is what the contractor told me. And they would then start to do work on it. And this is the kind of stuff that they do. This is the kind of things that they do. All right. And so he was working with the Hollow West Coast. And but now government changed. So he's working with the Hollow West Coast and the F&M. But now he's working with Philip Brave Davis and them. With Brave Davis, anywhere they could get, some little quick advantage, I guess that's what they do. And so they have already, I saw something floating around. They have already, this man has already gotten keys, of the acres and acres of land on Rose Island and other places, right here in the Bahamas. And so I'm shuffling through documents because I always deal with documents. All right. And so what puzzles me is that our news and Eyewitness News would run a story, and they called Mr. Arana a squatter. I'm going to reveal all of this tonight. They called him a squatter. A squatter means someone who has no legal title, a documented title to a property, and they just go on the land and try to take it over, which is actually legal. Squatting is not illegal, because if it was, you couldn't benefit from your illegality. Squatting in the Bahamas and every country is legal. You, if you are there for 12 years, it turns over to you. All right, because squatting is illegal. If you were to come in my house and steal my jewelry, and 12 years from now they find it, you go to jail. You don't own it. All right? Because it's illegal. If you were to steal my car and 12 years later they found out that you stole my car, they will arrest you and I will get my car back because it's illegal. Squatting is very legal in this country for Bahamians, not for anyone else. No one else can squat. All right? And so what was happening is that the foreigners are doing this, the legal and illegal ones, but the Bahamians are losing all of their land because they don't know what's really going on. All right? And so what shocked me was when they kept running the story. I was supposed to put it up there for you, but I didn't want to play that story anymore because the story was so utterly ridiculous. All right? Now, they called Arana a squatter. They were calling him a squatter because of another situation that he had before with the National Insurance Board. Did you see that story? The National Insurance Board. But I'm going to get to that. They said he was a squatter, but actually he wasn't. He had the documentation for the properties he was on. They went, and because what they do is they use the police to bully you to get, because see, in land law, possession is 9/10 the law. Pay attention now. Possession is 9/10 the law. All right? Possession is 9/10 the law. So if possession is 9/10 the law, that's why they have to get you out of the building. They get you out of the building by using their crony police. They pay them off to do whatever, even though it's illegal. Once they get you out, you got to sue to get back in because you don't have no police to come and bully the persons who are in there. Aaron had his papers, but they locked him up for trespassing. But the news didn't say that they adjourned the case sine die. All right, sine die means with no date, you don't know when it's coming back, just because there is no case against him because he has a right to be there, and that shouldn't have happened in the first place. All right. All right. Sorry about that little technical glitch. So, how could a man who has documents reporting? So this is back to the German, right? That's back to the German. Yeah, some of that law needs to be changed. We're going to change a lot of laws in this country. Just stay tuned. So Mr. Arana has his documents. This is. I'm sorry, I should add it up in the software because it's coming to you backwards, right? But this is his documents. His documents are registered. Registered with you have the receipt number for what was paid, the control number. It was registered 2013. Is registered with the government. You can see the number on the top that shows the registration number right there to show that this is a registered document. And so that's the papers for the property. All right, it shows where the property is. Here's a map on the inside that shows where the property is on that strip right there. You see? And so it shows the property. It's a bigger map right there showing you exactly where it is. The man has his papers. The man has his papers, and yet the news decided to vilify him and call him what? A squatter. This man actually has papers. He has papers going back. Yeah, see him document. He has papers. One just turn the pages. He got papers going so far that they go back into the 1800s. Before they had, they used to put this stuff in typing. And you see on here, this is a certified map, certified and stamped by the Ministry of the Department of Land and Surveys. Certified, stamped by Land and Surveys to say this is the map that deals with what he is dealing with. All right? Certified copy of the map. It says this is certified that this is a true. That is true and correct document, right? Another one. Your documentation, area in question, see, certified. Certified. Make sure you can see that good. Certified. All right? Certified. And so this is what he has been dealing with. All right? He has papers. And so I'll show you some more in a second. He also has his, the family line, the root of title, where everything comes down from all of his family back down to him, the full root of title, from wherever to wherever. Need some more space on his desk. So my thing is, why would the media do that? It's clearly a reason they did that. He has his probate in the Supreme Court. His probate, there it is. That's a probate for the said properties. All right. He even there's more. Hold on, oh man, we got so much documents blowing all over the place. Give me one sec. All right. Got so I have a whole pile of documents on here that this man has with reference to this. He has privy council decisions and all manner of things. And it is just shocking that instead of doing research, the biased, crooked media would just go ahead and just post a story attacking. And I know why they're attacking, but I'm going to get back to that. All right, I'm going to get back to that in a minute. And so this man has all of his paperwork, all, not some, all. Let me see. I'm going to pull some stuff up here for you. This man has so much paperwork, Jesus. In addition to the paperwork, in addition to the land that is in question, the man did public notice to tell all and sundry, listen, don't come on this land, this is my land, this family land. It's my family land. See, separate public notices to say, don't come on my family land. All right? And so that's what happened. And so with all this, Bahamians all over this country are fighting for their land. There's people all over this country that have been coming to me where they've been bullied for the benefit of foreigners in particular. We have a family that has their title documents for Half Moon Key, and the land was taken away from them, and parts of it, 40 acres of it. It was 400 acres, and Cupid Ingram took away 40 acres of it and gave it to Disney Company. Just took it and gave it to them. It's illegal. And that's what he told the family. Sue me. Just say that. The Bahamians who have been going through, their land has been taken, the government used it for a runway in Luthra or something else, and they say, listen, we're just taking this. The Bahamians have all these acres, you all don't know what to do with it. And that's what's been happening to Bahamians in this country. We've been treated like second-class citizens. We have had the Cinderella treatment in this country. And it's time for a change in this country. Something different has to happen. And so what happened on Mr. Anderson is that a gentleman came, it was a lockdown, only construction could go on, no one could come out. He started talking to me, renovating. When lockdown finished, Mr. Arnold went and checked. Said, no. It's my place. And Mr. Arnold took back possession. He wasn't there for the lockdown. He was somewhere else to be more convenient. But he was there before that. And he went and took the place back. He didn't have money to really invest or do anything, that real cash money. And so I decided to partner with him and put up whatever monies he needed. And I started to spend a lot of money to help to assist him in doing it. It took up one building that he has papers for. And I decided that we would take it and turn it into a shelter for battered women and their children. And you heard me announce that before. And that was the purpose of that building, to benefit the Bahamian people. And that was the purpose of that building, to use it. We've heard of complaints and cries that women were sleeping on the streets, women were sleeping on the beach, women were sleeping in parking lots and police stations with their children, a terrifying experience. And I said, no, okay, what I'll do, if you don't possess your land and do something with it, they're going to take it from you. They're going to continue to come, see it, renovate it, and take it. And because of the color of their skin, no one is going to question them. You have to possess your land. You can't just leave it there. And so I told them, okay, I'll do it, but with a purpose, all right? We'll partner to a certain extent, and we need to do something for the Bahamian people. And that was what I announced. We'll do shelter for women, all right? And I immediately spent about $75,000, which I think is now about $90,000, spent out of pocket, and assisted him. Took the building and did a business deal to get that done. And we started doing a lot of renovations to help the Bahamian people. All right. And so that's really what it is. All right. And so that's how it works. So we formed a partnership to get it done. All right. And so that's what it is. Now, so someone came and they said that they bought the property in 2021. That's this German man, right? The right after the lockdowns or during the lockdowns, during that whole COVID period. But they were renovating before 2021, right? And but they produced papers in the name of an international business company. An international business company is not allowed to own residential property in our country. An international business company is not allowed to own residential property. They can only own property for their office. They can only lease property for their office, for their business. They can't own residential properties in the name of their company. Now, someone said that they can get Bahamas Investment Authority permission, no central bank permission. All right. And even then, it doesn't happen. So you can Google that, go look at the laws and see how it works. But we have the documents for that company here. And that company that they have in their documents is in the name of an international business company. And so their document is starting off wrong. And so what he did was first he went for Mr. Arna, he went to Kill Beach Police Station to say, hey, you got some people in my house, I want to get them out. And to Kill Beach Police Station came, Arna, what's going on? And he said, well, they are my papers. They checked his papers, they asked the other guy for his papers. That time he said, oh, I don't have the papers. You don't have papers, get lost. Mr. Arna has papers, you don't have any papers, get lost. So then he came back and he went to another station. Someone told him that Carol didn't like me very much. I don't know why he would think that, I mean, Inspector Carol. And so he went there. Carol and Josie saw him, looked at papers. That time he showed up with papers, name of an IBC. And Carol looked at him and said, listen, as much as I would love to have something on Lincoln, this time, no, I don't. There's nothing here. Arna has papers. You have this thing that you call in the paper, go to Supreme Court. He then went to Financial Crimes Unit for that. Financial Crimes Unit looked at it. Arna went in, showed the papers. Financial Crimes Unit called the German fellow back and he said, listen, I don't have papers. And his papers are good. You see, you have something that's recent. Arna has something that is hard to get around. And so you need to go to Supreme Court. All right, simple as that. And since all three of those divisions chased him away, he then went to headquarters to talk to some people. I guess because he's working with Brave Davis them now, he went to headquarters to try to get some persons to, I guess, to buy favor. Technically, I don't know. That's how it feels to me. And he went to buy favor. Listen. So he had some ASP from headquarters come. Either he was just corrupt or crooked or didn't know the law. And the ASP took the housekeeper, carried him to the station, and Arna came there. It's like, I have my papers. You know, I have my papers. What is this about? Y'all have already seen me. Y'all have seen the papers. What's going on? Civil matter, not for police. The ASP who seemed corrupted to me said, okay, yeah, we see your papers, but your papers cover the whole strip. All right, the whole strip from the beach straight down here to Wendy's. No, you need to show me the individual paper for this particular building, or you have to come out the building. So in other words, the papers the man had, and the police said he checked with the registrar, and the registrar said, Arna's papers are legit, it's registered, and it shows that he owns from one point to the next point. So I don't know how much it is, but let's say that's 10 acres. They're asking him to show proof of a part of 1 acre individually. And so Arna said, they're telling you, and the documents say, my family owns from here to here, the full thing, but you're asking me to show you a piece of the thing. What are you talking about? and the fellow was very aggressive. The ASP seemed very crooked. Um, when Arnold got to the station, uh, the German fellow was already there, and when that crooked, in my opinion, police officer arrived, the German went straight to him and shook his hand like they were boys, which was shocking to me. But eventually there was nothing they could do, and they had to just let everything go. But in going, he said, okay, how soon y'all can get out there, and get out, let the white boy come in. And you're like, what? You see papers, and even the officer, one of the khaki officers at the station ran hard. It's like, what are you talking about? They showed you papers. If both sides have papers, you take it to Supreme Court. All right, and it's clear that this guy wanted to be biased, and this is sickening in our country. Bahamians go through this so much if they don't have connections. Bahamians are suffering in this country because they're not connected, they're not powerful, and they're taken advantage of. I've been fighting for Bahamians in this situation for the last 20 years. I haven't just started this. I'm not doing this for clout, I'm not doing this for politics. I've put my life on the line, my career on the line, my business on the line for the last 20 years for Bahamians, just like I'm standing with Mr. Arana. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing Bahamians being taken advantage of. And it's like, who do you turn to? Who do Bahamians turn to in this country? Who? Well, many Bahamians are going through this, and we are sick of it. And I'm going to continue to stand with the Bahamian people. And when we become the government, they're going to have the government fighting for them in this country for the first time. All right? And so the man in question that we were talking about, man, all he got, he came here, and I see my Bahamas investment authorities for all kind of condos and all kind of stuff. You know? Why all our land? And it's 30, and I have documentations for all of them. This one, I can't show you all, but dude, when I look on the dates on these, I see he got the property before getting Bahamas Investment Authority permission, which is curious. A bunch of documents. I have all the documents here for every property the man owns. All right, and none of them is the property in question, by the way. At least dealing with Ireland. And so I just brought this up. One of them is Caprice, number 14. Caprice. You know where Caprice is? That's on the western strip. Before you get to the roundabout by Wendy's. So after you pass Sandy Port, it's right there on the left. He has number 14. Number 14, Capri. All right. He has that. They gave him Bahamas Investment Authority. Gave him permission to get that on the 25th of October, 2011. All right. He bought the property on the first day of September. What is this? 2011. All right. So he bought it on the 1st of September 2011, and he got investment board authority to get the property, because they got to go to investment board on the 25th of October, so he got that after. Anyway, it's just about how we live. So he has another property in Orange Hill. That he got permission on the 3rd of August 2021. So he recently got that. All right, the 3rd of August 2021. But he bought that property, and let's all this. He bought that property on the 15th of November 2017. He says he bought it according to conveyance on the 15th of November 2017, but didn't get permission to buy it until the 3rd of August 2021. You see? It's Bahamas. There's another one he bought. Number 17, Kingfisher Island, Sandy Port. He got permission on 14th of November 2019, and but he bought it on the 20th of February. Okay, I can't read all this, but this is the kind of stuff that we are dealing with. He has also now gotten a Bahamian passport. Ask me how. Yep, and he's bragging to everyone that he now has a Bahamian passport. And so you can see that he's very associated with all the West Coast and White's Law Chambers. That's Adrian White, who is in the House of Assembly for the FNM, has done a lot of his paperwork. So I have to ask Adrian White some things. Adrian White. Because some things going down, and we need to ask you about that. And so we will wait to expose more stuff. Because as we start to expose, you're going to see more and more. You're going to start to see the law firm Davis and Co. popping up, especially for a particular green building. I can leave that for now and wait for them to mess around, and then we'll come back. All right, I'll leave that for now, but no news media should be calling Warren Arana a squatter because the man has his documents. All right, he has his documents. He has all his documents. I mean, his documents are so ironclad. All right. He got all he got is paperwork. I mean, we could be all day into paperwork. Now that'll take us back to so that's a corrupt police. All right. Who said that the Arana should have been out there by last night, but we were there all day today waiting on them to show up. So we could show you all who these corrupt police are. The police in the police station, Cambridge police station, because he came from headquarters. So he had nothing to do. And headquarters police don't deal with investigations, etc. But of course, that's when you grab a police you know and try to get them to intimidate you, to intimidate your enemy. And so the police at the station, who knows, in khaki was like, they've never seen nothing like this. That is clearly corruption. They smell a rat, and it is out of order. They let him run on and do whatever he had to do, because nothing he could do because the man had his papers. But they were, I mean, angry. They even, had words with him at one point. This police officer who came from headquarters. Why does this stuff have to happen in the Bahamas? Why is corruption so rank and stink in this country? All right? And so all Anna said to the man is, if you really have legit papers, why don't you just take it to court? Just take it to court and the court will decide. He said, why don't you take it to court? I said, well, I'm in possession of the buildings. I don't have to take nobody to court. I'm in possession of the buildings. And so from last year to now, the man just tries to get paid, no, I can't say that. Tries to get police officers to do his bidding because he clearly can't go to court to deal with it because he knows his papers aren't legit. And so what they did was they got the news media, clearly a payoff, in my opinion, to run some fake story. First on Saturday, ran a fake story about me being arrested and this and that. The woman, the reporter, called me and she said, "I'm calling you about this BP thing where they said you're squatting and there's allegations of you squatting." I said, "There's no allegation anywhere of me squatting, none. The only place I squatting is on the Crown Line in Carmichael Road, but there's no allegation about me squatting." All right. She said, "Yeah, well, I just wanted to know." Well, she said when she called the police told her it wasn't true. They had no dealings with me, nothing. She did say it in the report, but the way they introduced the report was that police were called to a building where people were squatting, and they were shocked to see the high-profile person who was there. No police was ever called to that building they're talking about, and no police was called to deal with me for anything. And that is a blatant lie. And this is why you can't trust the media today. That's a blatant lie. And the police told her it was not true. She told me that. But the police told her it was not true. Had nothing to do with me. She interviewed Aaron, and Aaron told us that nothing to do with Mr. Vane. Nothing. I don't know why they call his name. Nothing to do with him. And yet she still ran that story and tried to sell the story and put me, in the front of that story. And that's evil. All right. We have to be careful of the media. You see, Brave them making their moves to be able to control the media when it's election time, so that they can paint people how they want to. They're painting myself and Maria as rebel rousers because people only know what they see. When they go out there, when they see us out there at a protest and we have to speak loudly and we have to shout into a megaphone or shout on the hole or we have to stand up for what we believe in, they try to make it look like that's the only interactions we have. That is them. They just go screaming all the time. You know, but many of you watch these lives, you can see that we can speak intelligently on any level with anyone in any area of society, on any academic area. And so these corrupt media houses are evil. Be careful of them. They have sold out. And they're just waiting for the election period to be able to spread all kinds of lies and this kind of stuff. On the rally stage, I told you they're going to start with their lies. They started the next morning. This is so interesting. The next day they started with their lies. They didn't even wait. All right, and that's their only response to what we've been able to do. All right, and so sometimes the media is weak. No, the media has sold out. They are making their money from Greg Davis down. He's putting his people in place. See how he's setting Clinton's FNS? He's putting his people in place. So when the election comes, he believes that if they control the narrative, then they're going to win. All right, and so that's what's happening now to NIB, because these wicked people have just raised our NIB. And so we got to talk about this a little bit. I got to remind you about some stuff. All right? So just be patient with me today. I want you to see this video of where they said they're raising NIB. That's an old video. Let's see if we get the new video up there. They said that they're raising NIB. I mean, they are mercilessly, these people don't care. They don't care. They are just, listen, you can pay this NIB or wish you did. They couldn't care less whether you can afford it or not. NIB is going up, and all Bahamians can go to hell if they don't like it. And it's simple as that. They don't care what you think. All right? And stay tuned because I haven't reached the biggest story yet, which is if you're talking about squatting. In fact, let me skip to that, then I'll get back to NIB. Because if you're talking about squatting, and who's squatting, there's a phenomenon going. Not only are there foreigners, light-skinned foreigners, squatting all over on the good properties, on the beach, etc. Not only are they squatting with the aid of crooked politicians and others, all right? Not only are they squatting, make sure I get these up for you, but all over New Providence right now, Haitian nationals are just finding buildings and taking them. Taking them. Mercilessly just ripping them from the Bahamian people. They are going all over this country, and where they find an abandoned building, that gone. Do you understand? Anywhere. Now, the news ain't covering that. But neighborhoods everywhere in this country, not like we showed you Paradise Island the other day. But we took a trip today through Blair, through Village Road area, don't know those side corners off of Village Road on the eastern side of Village Road. We took trips in all these areas, again in Seabreeze, all over this country. Anywhere they find an abandoned building, it's gone. So y'all can sit down there and fight Bahamians and listen to these politicians and listen to these paid trolls who being paid, and some of them getting put up in condos and Paradise Island because Bray feel that it's important to control the narrative. Y'all can keep listening to them. But our country is being stolen right from underneath us. I got some things to show you today. And I want you all to stick with me. I know I can talk long today, but this is important. All right? And we are putting in a lot of work to make sure that you know what's going on in this country. A lot of work. So bear with me as I show you all some teams. All right? So there's some location and some suspected locations. So we have people who've been scouting and waiting to see certain things. I'm going to pull them up here right now. But we took a little trip to Blair and to other areas. My Lord. Listen, these people taking over and you're all joking. You're all busy fighting yourselves. You're all busy fighting each other while these people taking over. Okay, so one particular video right there, I know if you actually see that, because that one is very interesting. These people taking over. Bahamians, we have to unite. It is extremely important that we unite. I am so terribly concerned for my country, and this is why I fight. This is why I work so hard. I am concerned about my country. I am seriously concerned about my country. Jesus. I want to need to pull up. Okay, well, give me a sec. Let me get down a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we drove around. My Lord. Oh my God, the things I saw. And there are buildings if you want you to pay attention to. If you have abandoned buildings in your community, you want you to watch them. We are going and checking on them. Right? We're checking on these buildings because the Indians are not focused on their checking. Right? So we need you to, to check on these buildings. All right? Okay. All right. Just uploading the last one that you need to see, Jesus. So in the meantime, while I was uploading, I'm gonna show you some pictures. All right? Because you're busy fighting down yourselves. While these people working together to just take our country. Because game is working. They're working together. So, all right, that's up. So we drove to different communities. I'm just going to pull them up. So I have them in order to know which is which. I just got to pull them up and see what it's what. All right. I see that. I'll skip over that. What's this? This is one on, I think it's like bar 20 corner around there. The peach one. It was abandoned, and they said there's a gentleman that lives in there. All right. And they just took that over. This one is on Village Road. This is in the same property as Dr. J, they say. And they said some of them live in there and they gather outside right there, they say. And sometimes they gather in the same yard and they're like having meetings with the Chinese right here. And so that is curious to a lot of people. All right, that's right there. That's on Village Road. There's a sign out there that says Dr. J. Dr. J is a good doctor, and he's right in that same yard. And they said this building is being occupied by persons. That's the same building. All right. And so they're finding these buildings and then just taking them over. This is one they were concerned about. Actually, Asian fellow was in there, and the police came and got him and got rid of him. All right, that's yep, right there. The police came and got him and got rid of him. So they haven't seen him since. All right, there's a couple of more videos I want to upload for you, but this one is in Blair States, and so they were just concerned. Person was just concerned about this. They actually caught, as I said, each fellow there, police talking. They got rid of him, but they come and they see if anyone says anything. If no one say nothing, they stay. Right? Let me keep going. This one is off the Eastern Road, right off the Eastern Road. And they're living there. They come outside and hang out some nights, and they've taken this over. All right, this one right here, right off the Eastern Road. Yes, the Bay Street Eastern Road. This one is on Village Road, and they live in there. You can see they have the clothes hung up and everything. There's a fence, and they keep it locked, and they put no trespassing on it. Oh no, there was a better picture than this of it. I guess I don't have it. But there's a huge house, and huge piece of property in the back there. Huge house, a huge piece of property, and they just took it over. All right? Just took it over. And they're living there now. There used to be two elderly persons. I think one was blind. I guess they either moved or deceased. And so now those other people have taken it over, and it's gone. All right, and it appears they put a no trespassing sign on it, and they put a lock on it. This is the country we live in, y'all. This is the country we live in. Shocking. All right, and so I also wanted to show you on Village Road, right next to QC. This is what someone reported to me. And so I went out there to check it out. And it was during the day. But also here they have concerns here. But they went there. So I thought I was very sorry.
This is QC you're on about, because that is QC. And right next to QC is the building where they used to sell the chicken and stuff like that. Right there. But behind this building is an old village. This is right next to QC. It's a whole village back here. All the junk, and the clothesline, look up there.
So that's right next to QC, and so you go check that out. There's some videos I wanted to show you. Mostly of them was news videos. You know, one was that Bahamas Striping was getting a contract to develop La Playa, which is the building that they were using for the office of the prime minister. Now they're saying for foreign affairs, for welcome and whatever. They're going to waste money. Government, the last PLP government spent 10 million purchasing that property, and turns out that guess what? That is in court right now. That is a matter that is in court. I don't know how big a Bahamas Striping is going to develop that. I mean, will the government is going to give them the contract to develop that? When that matter is in court, there is a present court case right now with reference to it, with a present injunction with reference to that property. But the government just announced, as I think that was on the 28th or 26th of May, that they're going to be doing some work on that property. But there's a present injunction. Let me see if I can pull that injunction up for y'all. There's an injunction there because there's a court case. So how they're gonna do that? I don't know. Now maybe that's just one of them announcements. No chess people like make announcements to say stuff is already done when it ain't really done. But there's a injunction and a case going on with reference to them. I'm gonna pull it up so you can see. You see how fast I can get this done for you. With that. And so this wicked, crooked New Day government is saying they thinking that they're gonna develop that, but there's an injunction telling everybody to stay away, to not both sides, leave it alone. But every day they break the law. They're law unto themselves. I'm trying to upload it so you can get it. Internet's moving kind of slow. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Let me see if I can just show you it on my phone. Let me see, is it there? No. I'm trying to transfer it so you guys can see it. Okay, there it is. Let me pull this over here so you guys can see it. All right. All right. Let me pull that up for y'all right now. There's an injunction with reference to that. So I don't know. The government seems to be doing their own thing. Let's see if that. Yeah, there it is. The government seems to be doing their own thing. So let's pull this up for you. All right. And then I'm going to open the phone lines. Is it there? Yeah. So here, we always have documents. I don't talk about documents. This is an injunction, a full injunction. It's a matter in the Supreme Court of the company. In the matter of the treasury of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and the matter of all that piece, parcel, and lots of land containing a total of, and they put 6.42 square feet. So this was the treasurer of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas suing Warren Arena for land that he owns, and it should have said 6.4 acres, but they literally sued him for 6.4 square feet of land. I mean, the retardism is just magnanimous. So it says 6.42 feet of land, all right, at the Grove Estates and Gulf Coast Heights subdivision on the land of New Providence, one of the islands of New Providence. And so it's several pieces of land. A matter of application of an injunction and the vacant possession of land and occupation of Warren Arena. All right, so Warren Arena was on the land and they wanted vacant possession of it. They wanted to get the land from him. And so the matter is in the courts. All right. And what they did, they got some crooked police to go there and just lock him up just for that night so they could go take it over and then he can't get back in. They put security there. And so that's what happened. So the Crown proceeding And it says the treasurer of the Commonwealth of Bahamas and Warren Arena. And the order is, I'll read the order. 1, the status quo remains and the property is not to be interfered by anyone until the substantive application is heard. So everyone stand down. And so, yeah. Everyone stand down. Remember when me and Maria broke the story and we showed you the documents of how NIB had bought properties, $6 million, so more than $6 million, derelict buildings with our money. Derelict buildings. Go on my Facebook page and search NIB and it'll come up at some point where you can see me and Maria actually talking about this. It is so shocking. It's so shocking. It'll blow your mind. That's the story.
It's here on this Prospect Ridge, I like it. Yeah. Prospect Ridge.
And they have the security guards over there. These are run-down derelict buildings. Half of them. But they bought it our money. So they bought these derelict buildings.
Protected by armed forces, security
I'll let you listen for a
service.
second.
This is the phone number. My fellow Bahamians, breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. We have reliable information that several governments took the taxpayers' money from NIB and they purchased several abandoned homes in Nassau on Prospect Ridge with the whitest money in this country. Lincoln B, could you please tell the Bahamian people, I got a file here for them. NIB, the Pharaoh Knights of the Bahamas. Lincoln B, could you please tell the Bahamian people what these Pharaoh Knights, these Egyptians did with the taxpayers' money?
Maria, what really disturbed me was when I heard the government start talking about raising NIB on the backs of the Bahamian people and making it seem like they had to do it. You know, and they've been talking about that for some time. But the problem is, under every administration, they accuse each other of raping NIB's money. Okay? Under the previous under the previous England administration, they were talking about Cargill raping the people's money. After that, under the Perry administration, they were talking about the rape of NIB's money. Now, we decided to do some investigation. Because if you were raised our NIB,
thank you very much.
We want to know why. We want to know what's been happening to all this money and what's been happening with all the billions. Because we got all the details of all the billions from way back when to now.
Thank you.
All right? But we can break them down for you. We are standing in front of the dilapidated home that NIB claims to own. And there's several of them that we're going to show you now. One of them we go walk in for you. All right? They actually, not only do they claim to own this, they have security guards that they put in place. Now the security guard here missing. I guess they didn't expect no one to be around here. So he must be on a lunch break or whatever. The security guard is missing. When we walk to the next one, you will see the security guards be right there. They got a tent and all. They sleep there. All right? At the gate.
So the taxpayers own this then, Lincoln?
Yes, there's a dilapidated house past here.
National insurance.
It has a sign saying no trespassing, so here you go. But anyone that's venturous, this is 112 on Miss Sanford Drive, I think this is, by Prospect Ridge. And it's a dilapidated house right up there. All right? And let me show you all some documents to show you all what's been going on with our money. You might well get closer, you all can see this. You see this right here? This is an official document that purports to be, what's this, a conveyance. This is a conveyance from the treasurer of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Now the treasurer is actually an incorporated company that they put all as a holding company for all government property. So don't mind it saying the treasurer. That's what they put all government property in the treasurer. All right. So this is an incorporated company, and it says it's sold from the treasurer to National Insurance Board. So what that means, Maria, is that they sold property from the government to National Insurance.
taxpayers again.
Now, why the hell
Yes.
would you sell property from the government that the government already owned and sell it to national insurance?
Sure, thank you.
The only reason that you're doing that is to rape money out of national insurance. All right? And you have to find out who owned or was in control of that property before. That's another question. All right? So here you have it. This is conveyance, and it has all the volume number where you can find all the information and everything.
Recorded
Everything
payments.
is right there. All right?
Civil
And so,
registry.
when we go into this, you're going to see that, see here, they paid the stamp tax. You see how much the stamp tax was? $300,000. That's the stamp tax. And the amount they paid was $3 million on the bottom.
National insurance money.
$3 million.
National insurance money.
All right? $3 million for a couple properties. All right? $3 million for a couple properties. $3 million of our money. And so, not only was it $3 million of our money, see, they list the properties that's involved. They say 1.85 acres or thereabouts property here and after call lot number 2, Gulf Coast Side subdivision. In the first schedule, 1.25 acres of thereabouts of property and after call, lot number 11, Gulf Coast Heights. Subdivision described in the second schedule there too, 1.74 acres or thereabouts of property here and after call, lot number 1, Gulf Coast. Described in the third schedule and 1.5 acres hereabouts of property.
Oops. I'm sorry, I touched the screen.
Here and after call, lot number 1, the Grove subdivision, described in the fourth schedule.
Who owned these properties? Who had owned these properties before National Insurance paid for these properties?
Now, when you go to the next page, they talk about the resolution. And we can walk you through these properties. They say provision of section 538 of the said Ministry of Finance, here and after call the act, the vendor may sell or make any other disposition of the fee simple of which the land. So in other words, they can sell it by the House of Parliament. All right? And they made a resolution. See the resolution there, Maria? This is the resolution in the House. By resolution of the House of Assembly dated the 15th day of May, 2013.
Who was in power? Who was in power?
That's
Perry Christie.
Perry there.
Oh, the PLP was in power. The PLP.
And of the Senate dated the 28th day of August.
Who was in charge of the Senate?
2013.
Frankie Wilson White?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Section 3 of the Act, both houses of Parliament approves the conveyance of lot number 2 of Gulf Coast Estate subdivision to the purchaser and consideration of the sum of 10 in currency.
What they trying to say? $10 for what, Lincoln?
So they approved them to buy these properties that I'm going to show you for $10, but they spent $3 million.
What? Bahamians, Mr. Christie. You hear this? You know anything about this, Mr. Christie? You all take $3 million on our money. And then you all turn around for consideration for $10? No, Mr. Christie. You got to walk the plank.
I want to read one of these properties, right?
Yes.
This one around the corner. Let's see this one here. All right. Lot number 2, Gulf Coast Side subdivision. All that lot, piece or parcel of land containing by at measurement 1 acre and 1.85 acres, or thereabouts, being lot number 2, known as and shown on the plan on the record on MP file, whatever they say the file, in the Department of Lands and Surveys, situated on the northern side of Sanford Drive and 900 feet westwardly of Prospect Road in the island of New Providence in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, abutting and bounding towards the north on land now or formerly the property of the Bahamas government towards the east.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Lincoln, you trying to say this was the property of Bahamas government and they sell it to National Insurance? My Lincoln, I already see that damn.
On land now formerly the property of Hubert Ingram Esquire, being lot number 3.
Hold on. Wait a minute, that ain't proper name. Well, oh yeah, that's proper property that was.
You was a FML.
Bahamians, you ever there? Mr. Christie, you all buy proper property back from him. including this 3 million? Right, Lincoln, boy?
Lot number 3 is Papa property. And see the map, see it here? That's lot number 3. Lot number 3 is Papa property. All right? That's lot number 3. This lot number 2 here. All right? And that's stupid Ingham right next to it.
3 million?
And right next to it is Crown land over there. All right? So we've actually found Crown land in the Sanford Drive area.
You lie.
Yeah. I think we gotta
We gotta go there.
yeah, we gotta take that.
Yeah.
All right, that's ours. But Bahamas, there's so much more to see. But before we go to the rest of this, this is maps that they provided to show where these properties are that they claiming. This Prospect Road, etc. We're gonna walk to another one right next door, and then to another one across the light. And then these are properties here that they're referencing. So there's a bunch of properties that they're claiming to be owned by NIB, including the house that they said was going to be for the Prime Minister. And that's that right there.
They purchased that too, Lincoln?
They're saying that NIB owns that. And so let's take a walk here before we go to the rest of it.
Hold on a second, but Lincoln, you know, Bahamians will bring us up close. I want the Bahamians to see this because you see this? The Treasurer of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to National Insurance Board. This is the workers' money, right? Volume number. We get everything. Bahamians, look here. Watch this. Who was the Attorney General? Office of the Attorney General being recorded by the Attorney General. The 7th of August, 2014. Mr. Christie, you was in power. Yo, Mr. Christie, look at this. This was the Attorney General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. All of you always in cahoots from thieving from the taxpayers' money. Watch this, Bahamian. You see me? Lincoln, did you forward this document?
Nope.
How you get this document? Oh, don't talk it. Coming out of the trash can. The Office of the Attorney General, Nassau, Bahamas. This is a recorded record. We ain't got no time to play with them. We gonna walk down to this next property.
That's Hubert Ingram's son right there.
That's Hubert Ingram's son?
Yeah.
Oh, I am so sorry, sir. We gonna walk down to the next property. What they purchased, National Insurance money back.
Yeah.
See?
All right.
I know.
I wouldn't know what they did. That nigga did 24 hours security.
Yeah, they have 24 hours. National Insurance have 24 hours security. They say they own this. Now, I don't know why the government would sell the property to National Insurance. Tell me that makes sense.
Hey,
National Insurance is funding everything.
hold on,
Tell your daddy I got it.
hold on, watch
Why?
this.
This is derelict property.
I want, look at this, sir. What this say? The Chief Justice?
Yeah,
What's
that?
that? So what this say? What they say? The Treasurer to National Insurance. You see the infinite here, right? What you read, sir? The Governor General. You see this? Office of the Attorney General. Watch this. Who they say here? So what that means, sir? Oh, that's
Watch this.
correct.
I want you to see this, all right? This you can go away. We have to. This property right here. That's your daddy when you get inherit that. Did you hope so?
No, boy, we coming for ideas.
But we have to take that back for the people.
Thank you.
Tell your daddy ain't coming to talk to him.
No, God, I would know they get all this.
How the PLP get it though? The whole road? The PLP take the whole road.
Where?
You said the PLP had all this long time.
Oh, the PLP.
Wow. All right.
Just leave him and Perry.
All right. Hubert Ingram's son said it ain't just Ingram who owned this property, it's Ingram and Perry.
Oh.
And in fact, Ingram and Perry own a property right next to this right there.
Oh.
Right. It's a long fence before the American Embassy. They own that right there. So let's walk right to the next. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Hubert Ingram.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's just a little blast from the past. I'm going to put the link on my Facebook page so all of you can watch that. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a story broke on NIB. There's more to it. Go and watch it. You can search it on my page. I'm going to put the link when this live is over so that you can go and watch that. There's only about 20 minutes. My live's going to be long, but that one is short. What I'm going to do right now, and Hubert Ingram's son said, no, it ain't just Hubert Ingram own that. Ingram and Perry own that together. You heard that. This is the country we living in. All right. And so I will wait for Brave and his German and this and that to um to make a move again from Zarna, and then we'll do what we have to do. We'll let you know exactly what Davis and Co been up to. All right, so we'll see if they bought an arena again. Now I'm going to open the phone lines 803-5995. It's so much document, there's so much stuff to talk about. But I can open the phone lines now as I continue. 803-5995 is the number. As usual, 803-5995. Call me. What do you think about what's going on in this country? NIB is going up. They say that gas is about to go up. Everything going up. Everything in this country is about to go up. Lord, to be a Bahamian in the Bahamas. My Lord. And so the live number is there. 803-5995. 803-5995 is the number. And so they said that NIB is going up. They promised it wouldn't. They are raping and robbing the Bahamian people and telling you all they just love it. And some of you do. You just love it. All right. Also, Halkidas responded about the building, that. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. The building that is being rented by the Consumer Protection Agency. Alquitas responded. Y'all call me, man. You know what call yet, or I have this on silent? Let me make sure. 803-5995 is the number. It's look like y'all in shock and awe. Alquitas basically said the board don't have a say in that there was a disgruntled person talking to me, etc., etc. Nonsense. All right. But he wouldn't say how much is being paid. Of course he wouldn't. The corruption in this country is at epic levels. Epic levels. All right? And so...
Well, the Economic Affairs Minister, Michael Halkid, is also refuting allegations tonight that the government engaged in unscrupulous practices to house the Consumer Affairs Unit and the Consumer Protection Commission at a building on Howell Road. Halkid is setting the record straight that government officials followed the necessary protocols to acquire that building and further argued that it was a necessary decision to give the unit its own building.
There is nothing untoward. What we have is a disgruntled individual who has decided that he would make certain allegations. Boards, committees, ministries, departments do not decide where they want to go.
I just wanna pause there for a second. Alquitas is saying that it was a disgruntled person that made certain allegations. And then you can look at how he's talking and he's lying. He said it was a disgruntled person. All right. If that's a disgruntled person that made allegations, one, why didn't you fire them? Two, why didn't you sue them? Three, why didn't you have them arrested for defamation? They came in and they called names, including Halkida's name. They called names. They talked about what they experienced and what they saw. So this can't just be a disgruntled person. There's deeper than that. They're deeper than that, right? And so clearly you would have sued. I don't want to talk about that anymore. All right, that's clearly nonsense. They had the opening yesterday for this building, and they're saying that they're paying $100,000. $100,000 a month. Plus, they had to do all the work. I don't know what else to say. All right. So that's it. That's all I'll cover on these stuff for the night. I have more to touch on, but I'll leave it right at those things right there for the night. $100,000. And so, all right. So no one is calling in. So I'm going to end there. Listen, we have a dollar drive on Saturday. We're looking forward to all of you being there. and I'm going to end. I know I only did an hour and a half today. I got a family member who's not well. I got to go attend to right now. So I'm sorry. I got to leave him to deal with that. Uh, Thank you all for all your support. Thank you for continuing to support. Your country is sinking. This ship called the Bahamas is sinking, and we need someone else to be at the helm. I love this country. I'm not going to give up on this country. We have to stand up and we're going to fight. The government now knows that the COI is a force to reckon with. We know French Party no more. We had the first rally of the political season, and it was a major rally, the biggest rally that we have ever seen. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know how it goes. Dollar Drive. And so we're having a dollar drive this Saturday, and most likely we'll be on the road, probably marathon. We'll see what happens. Normally, when we see kids doing a dollar drive somewhere, we don't go there. We don't interfere with them. But we're normally on Village Road, Carmichael Road, other places. Just follow my page, you see what's going on. All right. And so we got some stuff coming for Grand Bahama, Abaco. We have a town hall meeting in Abaco on the 19th. How did I forget that? On the 19th, we have a town hall meeting in Abaco. All right. So look at on our pages for the information about that too. In Abaco, we have a town hall meeting. So we're coming down to Abaco to talk about what's going on, let them know what's going on. Abaco, we're coming. All right. So thank you so much for being there, everyone who's from Abaco. Ladies and gentlemen, Dollar Drive. Someone wants to say something. I'll let them say something before I go. Good evening, you're live.
Good night, President Bean.
Good night, how you doing?
The rally was pretty good, man. Excellent. Things are going good, President Bean.
Yes.
What that guy said, what people don't understand, Brock Morrison said something about the president of the association. He's the deputy.
Yes.
He said something about the president. Wasn't that right, Mr. Bain?
Yes, he did.
About his wife and his son in California.
Yep.
He said something about they might have contracts.
If what he was saying wasn't true, they could have him arrested for defamation or sue him.
All that would have come out in court. They don't need to Mr. Bain. It's best they leave it just the way it is.
Yeah.
And another thing, the people sitting in the Parliament, the House of Assembly, are they going to get $2 million for a carbon credit? What was supposed to be a carbon credit?
What do you mean if they're going to get $2 million?
Like, I think someone said one of the groups say they're supposed to get like $2 million or something like that.
Who?
One of the groups I saw, and I might have been wrong. That's why I was.
No, I don't know anything about that.
Okay. When I see all the members in our parliament sitting down, President Bain, to me it's like they aren't even checking for the Bahamians.
No.
Everything they do is to help the foreigners.
Yep.
Haiti have 11.5 million people. We have what? 200,000 organic people, President Bain?
Yeah.
If we don't start up, there's going to be no more. And Bahamas, I would like you all to help me. President Bain asked you all to talk like 10 of your family members. Why we don't talk to 10 strangers every day, or even if it's one? And let's do it for 3 years.
Yeah.
Thank you, President Bain, for everything, and good night.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we exposed some stuff. We showed you some documents. I'm going to encourage Mr. Arner to sue our news and to sue eyewitnesses if they actually did do a story. In fact, I'll pay for his legal fees because the media is now being a tool of the government, and it is gross. You had one fella did a voice note. He's a known political prostitute who had said some things about Brave Davis before. This political prostitute was accused of viciously raping 2 young girls. And he put a voice on there saying that he just spoke to two senior officers at KBC. Says he can confirm that Lincoln Bain was under arrest at that station. It was pure lies. I mean, the lengths that these trolls would go to. And again, the troll wants to get paid, I understand. But the people who would share that nonsense, that's what I have a problem with. That you would share anything from political troll. Jesus. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a bright future coming. There's a bright future that is here. And I just want you to know that the time is running up. Yet time is short. It's almost 2 years gone. It'll be another 2 years in no time. Time is running short, and we are going to have the new Bahamas, and we are going to put Bahamians first. I gotta run. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. I will definitely see you all next time.